Hello, it's Reviews Day Tuesday, and today it's time for a new Mouse Reviews. This week I'm going to be talking about Doctor Who Series 12, which is the second series with Jodie Whittaker as the 13th Doctor. Series 12 consisted of 10 episodes, and it finished just over a week ago. Firstly, to note, this review will contain spoilers. There are a few things that I want to talk about that are spoilery, so please don't watch this review if you are not up to date with Doctor Who. I really enjoyed the previous series, Series 11, the first series with Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor. I'll link to my review of it below if you want a recap, but I liked Series 12 far more. I would go so far as to say that I like Series 11 slightly less now, because comparatively with Series 12 I was much more a fan of the style of this series. This most recent run really reminded me of how I felt when I first started watching the show in the Christopher Eccleston year, and the few years after that, so that pretty much it reminded me a lot of the Russell T Davies years. Series 12 had so many of the elements that I love in Doctor Who. 2-part episodes with cliffhangers, an overarching story for the whole series, surprise returns of old friends and foes. I really enjoyed this series overall. I would say that I definitely preferred the first half of this run to the second half. I loved the cliffhanger at the end of Spyfall Part 1 and the whole of Spyfall Part 2, with the great surprise of Sacha Darwin as the Master, who I love as an actor anyway, and I thought he was great as the Master. And I loved the random team-up of the Doctor with Ada Lovelace and Noor Inayat Khan. I would have happily watched them for a few more episodes. I liked Nikola Tesla's Night of Terror, great cast and characters, and I'm a fan of the historical episodes generally, and Fugitive of the Judoon, which was episode 5, I also really loved. I was completely shocked by the return of Captain Jack Harkness. It was a lovely surprise, didn't see it coming at all. I was even more surprised when he didn't show up again in Series 12, but it was a great cameo, and I hope that there will be an opportunity for him to be back again in the future. And I personally was a fan of the whole concept of there being another Doctor that we didn't know about, and even more that we didn't know about. So yes, all of my favourite episodes of Series 12 were at the start of the series, but there was still plenty to enjoy over the course of the whole run. I liked the darkness in the Doctor this year. Jodie Whittaker is so great. She was shutting out her friends and pretending everything was fine, and it led to a really interesting dynamic in Team TARDIS. And I really like Ryan, Yaz and Graham as characters, although I do feel like there are too many of them for any of them really to get a great deal of development and screen time. But I did like how they were competent and, you know, they had jobs to do and they could be left to their own devices and get stuff done. They were trusted to go and do important things. And I like that because there are so many of them, you end up with all of these different combinations of teams and different main characters teaming up with different guest characters. So a lot of variety and fun was available with that. But there is a part of me that does miss there being one companion who travels with the Doctor, just because you get to spend so much more time with that character. I still love the current group of Team TARDIS, and I don't want them to leave, and I'll be sad when they leave, but whenever they do leave I wouldn't be too disappointed if there were, you know, fewer members of Team TARDIS for a bit in the future. As to the end of the series, the climax, the big reveal, I was really interested by how the whole Ireland part of the story was woven in, and it was nice to have the Cybermen back, even though they've never been one of my particular favourite villains. There was an element of anticlimax to me, just because the big reveal was kind of the Master telling the Doctor who she was. I feel like if it had been maybe more her discovery, or if it hadn't been so clear that he was going to tell her a secret, or if there had been more Time Lords around to add to the conflict, I think I would have found it maybe more impactful. But I'm a fan of the reveal itself, and I'm excited for what it means going forward. And I'm excited for the Christmas special or the winter special. I don't know exactly when it will be on. In conclusion, I really enjoyed Series 12 of Doctor Who. Last year I gave Series 11 4.5 out of 5. As I said at the start of the review, I much preferred the direction of the show this year. So rating wise, I think what I want to do if I can is give Series 12 4.5 out of 5 and maybe drop Series 11 down to 4.3 out of 5, if I can, if that's not cheating. I personally don't think that Series 12 is a 4.6 or above, but I definitely put it in the 4s, and I did definitely prefer it to Series 11. So that's interesting to me how Series 12 has slightly changed my feelings on Series 11. But I stand by the rest of my Series 11 review. I still really love that series. I'd really love to know what you thought about Doctor Who Series 12 if you have seen it. I know the series was quite divisive, so I'm really interested to hear your opinions, and please do mark any spoilers just in case. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Let's move across to the end screen. If you'd like to see my latest video or some more mouse reviews, then you can do so below me here. And if you'd like to subscribe to my channel or visit my website, then you can do so beside me here. And if you fancy checking out my Patreon page, the link to that is in the description below. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you soon.